Now on WWAY News at 11, I'm Kylie Jones, live in Carolina Beach, where a man has reportedly drowned. I'll have more for you coming up. I'm going to take you around to the front of this neighborhood. Again, this is the farm at Brunswick in Carolina Shores, and these neighbors are kind of just milling around. You look up right here, you're looking at a roof that is just completely demolished on this side. Law enforcement officers found Smith holding a woman at gunpoint in a car back behind several businesses here on West Broad Street. There's games, there's food, everything you could expect from the fair. I've been trying out a couple games here, and I'm gonna test them out for you, see how they are. So I'm going for that Brady jersey up there. Overpasses like this one on the bridges, especially for your morning commute tomorrow morning. Make sure you go extra slow, be careful, because those are the places that will see some slick spots, if any at all. The search for what the New Hanover County Sheriff's Office calls a violent suspect ended right here behind me. Neighbors who heard it all unfold say it happened in just seconds. Actually, we're getting one of those gusts of wind right now where the wind really picks up and the rain just comes down on you. We got here a little while ago, like I said. The drive down here was not too bad at first, but conditions were getting worse. 12 counts of child sex crimes. It may come as a shock to some, but to others.
I reported it 9 months ago, and I'm wondering if in that 9 months period some other student has been assaulted.
Roland Grice Middle School band teacher Peter Frank accused of indecent liberties with 6 of his students. He's worked for New Hanover County Schools since 1997. Parent Lynn Shoemaker, who's been vocal with the school board about taking a tougher stance on sexual misconduct, says she first got a message on social media 9 months ago.
That her sister was a victim of a teacher in middle school, and that she's suffering PTSD because he's still teaching in the same school, and it was her band teacher.
Shoemaker says she tried to email the New Hanover County School Board. The response she got back:
I had a moral obligation to report it, which I felt like I was reporting it to the elected officials who govern our public school system.
Shoemaker says she was told that since she did not have a name at the time, the district could not investigate. Fast forward 9 months, District Attorney Ben David says a woman came to one of his employees.
They were classmates at the time in Roland Grice some 16 years ago when this young woman was a student, and so was my employee. She related to my employee that inappropriate contact that happened with Mr. Frank.
The New Hanover County Sheriff's Office launched an investigation which led to 5 more victims, one of whom is a current student.
We frequently tell our children that if they see something, they should say something. We as adults need to model that behavior too.
The investigation reveals these crimes date back to 2003, all the way through 2019.
How many students were harmed by this person from the first time he was reported?
It's something drivers couldn't even believe with their own eyes last night as they watched a string of patrol cars trailing the Bobcat tractor. Officials say he led them on the chase for about an hour. Take a look at this viewer video.
What is that?
It's something you have to see to believe.
They're chasing him. They're chasing him. It's got to be a chase.
Not exactly what you would call a high-speed chase.
They're chasing down this guy. Look at him.
The getaway vehicle? A Bobcat tractor making its way slowly but surely through Wilmington, much to everyone's surprise.
No, this was a first for us.
Lieutenant Jerry Brewer with the New Hanover County Sheriff's Office says Adarius Walker led them on the slow-speed chase. Getting up to 5 miles an hour at times, the hour-long chase came to a slow end on Cardinal Drive.
Once we started, it had tracks, so using spike strips was not going to be an option. You can't pit that type of equipment.
It's not your everyday traffic stop, so law enforcement had to get creative.
The first option was let it run out of gas. Once we saw that was going on for some time and that wasn't really a good option.
Past College Road, MLK Boulevard, and down Market Street, Walker went. Drivers waiting to see what happened next.
Oh, it's definitely coming.
Here he comes. Finally, Brewer says they saw their opening.
We then saw an opportunity when he turned off of Market on the Cardinal. There was an issue with the track that was kind of keeping him stalled for a second. That's when we were able to pepper spray him and get him stopped.
All because of patience and restraint.
It is humorous to see on there, and a lot of people, notice that. But we were lucky that, it was a learning lesson for us. It's something new we hadn't seen before. But we were able to get that young man into custody without being hurt, and no one else was hurt.
Fletcher Collins says he's made nearly 100 custom caskets for people of all ages. And this one that he's delivering right now is one of those extra special projects, and it's going to a little boy.
We know we cannot take the pain away from a family, but it's our God-given gift and desires to help share it.
It's not something you would expect to find joy in. Fletcher Collins grew up loving to paint, but that was not exciting enough for him.
I don't like traditional things. I don't like normal.
That's when Collins told his dad about a dream he had. It took things to a whole new level.
I said, I want to start designing caskets. He said, Fletcher, you come up with some of the wildest ideas. He said, but I know you'll be good at it. Well, 6 months later, he was my first customer.
And he never stopped. 6 years later, Collins and his team at Glorious Custom Designs have made nearly 100 custom caskets.
A plain casket, it does not characterize the beloved. It doesn't leave that warm impact when you're sitting there at a funeral setting. So we wanted to do something different that would help bring back good memories.
Collins makes each casket from scratch, then hand delivers them to families all over the country. This one for a 6-year-old Alabama boy who drowned last week.
He said his son loved Paw Patrol, and Chase was his favorite character of the Paw Patrol.
Collins crafted a casket into a Paw Patrol boat, all in less than 24 hours. He says the work is nothing compared to the joy he can bring families in their darkest times.
It's more than a blessing. It's more than an honor. I find it greatly amazing for God to have chose me and to allow me to have the gift that he gave me and to give this gift back.
We'll get to the courtroom in just a moment, but first we have viewer video in just moments ago. Take a look at this video sent to our newsroom. It shows police arresting Cedric Burnett downtown right here on Gray Street. The dramatic end to a 4-year investigation. He's now charged with first-degree murder. The family of Aljon Williams full of emotions today as Wilmington police shared the news.
Joy. That's all. It's one word, joy.
The one word Portia Williams can use to describe this moment, 4 years in the making. When she got a call from detectives Wednesday night,
I could tell by the tone of his voice that it was different.
Next, a flood of emotions for the family of Aljon Williams.
Angry, happy, wanted to cry, wanted to break down, felt exhausted. It's been 4 years.
Well, you don't know if you want to cry or be happy.
Bittersweet news that police had arrested 23-year-old Cedric Burnett and charged him with the murder of 14-year-old Aljon.
The wheels of justice sometimes turn painstakingly slow.
Aljon was walking home from playing basketball in January of 2016 when he was shot near Emery Street and Stewart Circle.
We never stop looking. We never stop trying.
4 years later, detectives say a piece of forensic evidence ties Burnett to Aljon's murder. They vowed to never give up. District Attorney Ben David says justice never sleeps.
If we can't bring joy back to the Williams family, we do intend to bring them justice.
And Portia Williams has been patiently waiting for that justice.
I want to cry as well. I have cried. I will continue to cry because it's a process, but the only way out is through it.
I still won't have Aljon.
Still a long road ahead, but Williams says now they can start to heal.
And he may not be here physically, but he's here spiritually. The sky was the limit for him, and we can't bring him back, but we might can change the future for the children that's out there.